So this is definitely going to be a filler episode. If the thumbnail wasn't already going to tell you, also if you hear something in the background, it's because, well, for some reason, as I was trying to record something else as we get a Yo Got Bag Exquisite Taste run with Mimi, then yeah, I was trying to record something else, and for some reason my noise filter on OBS is going crazy at the moment. So, I mean, maybe I fixed it, maybe I haven't, but that's just me for the moment, because we get Knowledge, Takshisan, Charisma, Dexterity, Light, and maybe a second encounter? But aside from the lighthouse, which we're probably just gonna cruise through, considering we're on a we are on an exquisite taste run. We do have a weapon because we're Mimi. It's not the best weapon, but it's one I can definitely live with. And the only other thing to mention is that aside from is on the tangent note of off-topicness, yes, I was busy doing things along with doing some cleaning. I will explain that for like about another minute or two because it is important to at least explain my side of things, but I also did cycle the mystery, so we have Festival, Akamanto, Salt, Shrine, Bulletin, and Raven. So, let's take care of Bulletin first, and I'll explain myself in the next two mysteries. But, as we also first look at the police station, because I nearly forgot, I always forget to do that. Salt Shrine, I don't know where that takes us. I'm gonna assume the seaside, along with other things we have. Now, I wasn't watching if I had a lot of other hospital-type mysteries, but shrug. So, yeah, basically doing some cleaning, because as it turns out, when you're sick, you really should, like, wash anything that you've touched. It's not like I was contagious or anything, but basically, for example, and this is not, like, what I was suffering under, but if you're having a fever and you sweat a lot, which is something I've had before, yeah, you really want to wash the seats and whatnot. I don't know what other people do around well, I don't know what you do, but that's certainly something I have to think of doing. And sometimes I do miss it because, well, I'm just so sick, and then I wake up and I'm like, and then I'm just still in kind of the same atmosphere, the same place. But again, what I was sick with, it wasn't contagious, but it's still a good habit to try and clean, I say, as I'm looking at a messy table. So, so that was me doing some cleaning, along with some work, which is why I could not get done what I would normally get done, at least in this month of May, as we are moving on, along with other things that I may be busy with, game dev stuff, projects, other things for the channel that I was working on, because, I mean, as I said, I was trying to record something else, and it didn't work out. And it's not something I've shown on this channel before. We're going to say no, because I forgot to visit the forest, but we have the Doom, we have the power. I think this is like 5 reason, if I recall. I guess we're going to find out. I always forget, even though I've taken this option for, yeah, so 5 Doom, -3 reason, and +3 funds. So be it. That's, I think that might be sometimes more than the boss fight, but that depends. Like, if you're combat capable, you don't need to worry about it. Also, I should have used these library notes again, but it's perfectly fine. So we're gonna take this reason. I know we lose reason for it, but we should be perfectly fine. And into either Akamanto or Raven, because I think Raven had one as well. We'll save Festival for the 4th mystery, so into Raven we go. Salt Shrine will probably be last. I don't remember anything too terrible happening. And as one of several mysteries in that mod pack that don't thankfully like slam you in the face, yeah, I feel like it's good to have a mystery that doesn't do as much damage to your face now and again, either through a status effect or through bosses. And the reason I say this is because when we look at Haspin, I mean, because that's just the name of the person who made it, Haspin Mysteries, basically, a lot of, well, I say a lot, more than a few of them I think have gotten changed to become more difficult on average, and you won't really feel it on any other difficulty other than Harbinger, really. I'm shrugging, that's the end of the sentence. Also, I almost autopiloted my way into a lost run, so again, not really much to say here if you're here for Mimi tips, which I guess I'll give you now. Mimi has less max reason, but that's normally not an issue at all, really, because if you know more than enough, or you know your way around World of Horror to a good degree, you're usually able to handle, like, even like max 7 reason, max 7 stamina. So you're not really worried about, you know, having 10 max reason or so whatnot. You basically have to be playing as Kana to even feel anything. And even then, Kana, you know, doesn't die by stamina or reason. So I would say they're better than Mimi on an average, if we're to look at a vacuum of runs. That being said, I personally would prefer Mimi because I like starting with a weapon, whereas with Kana, sometimes, you know, their Doom increase from dying does not offset the fact that they don't start with a weapon, and so therefore getting a weapon might cost you so much doom that you just explode in doom. So again, but that's me though. On average, I would say Kana is better, and this is assuming you're not using any exploits. I don't personally use exploits with Kana when I play them, so examples of that are things like, you know, Mind Drain, being able to use anything that uses max stamina, max reason, because those is technically an exploit, but at the same time, it is. I say technically because by the rules of how Kana functions, their mechanic means that they break the rules of things like Eldritch Parasite and whatnot. So I'm shrugging in real life as I say they do have their advantages and disadvantages. Now, whether or not you can set them up easily, I think it's really just the Mind Drain Ghostly Spear that you can set up really easily. Which does, if you sit and trade 20% Doom for a weapon or for Mind Drain and or Ghostly Spear, the latter two spells are often better than a weapon because with Kana, they can just cast infinitely those two spells. So now the Band-Aid fix to this, as we end this topic, nice 11 roll by the way game, try to sneak that past me, would be to add +1 Doom to the cost of the spell to Mind Drain and Ghostly Spear, but spells are already bad enough, so shrug, right? And how important is it really to win this one World of Horror run that probably doesn't have any stakes to, well, whether or not you survive or not, unless you're doing some kind of challenge. But again, you'd have to literally be me or like a few other people, handful of people who play World of Horror for reasons other than, you know, just maybe fun. But shrug. Also, I'm deciding whether or not I have enough stamina for this. I don't think I actually do. I have painkillers and a long pig steak. I don't really want to eat them, though. I guess I have to. Yeah, I have to. So what we're going to do first is we're going to visit... Never mind. I forgot I don't have the vending machines. I guess we just walk forward. I don't want to rest. I'm going to be greedy for the restless bonus because we're going to enter Festival and rest there anyway. 7 knowledge. Thankfully, it means something. And off we go. Now, we do want to take these painkillers. But first and foremost, we brace and see what we can get. I think we should be able to hit one of these. If we hit one of these, I think we can... Yeah, we can Desperate Struggle our way out with the handcuffs. Again, handcuff tech is technically another exploit. Now, what is stronger, Kana with Mind Drain or handcuffs? I say Kana with Mind Drain and or Ghostly Spear. It's just by nature of infinite casts. Whereas handcuffs, you really only have one per run, but... I mean, take with it as you will, handcuff tech has saved me so many times. So, into Festival we go. Again, Salt Shrine for last, and off we go. And then again, just to kind of rebound back to the topic of Mimi, Mimi does have First Aid, so aside from Eldritch Parasite runs, but if you're on an Eldritch Parasite run, the extra, even though her max reason does drop, you 30 max reason well, with Mind Drain or Ghostly Spear, I'm going crazy, is very good, basically. The -3 max reason doesn't mean much when you have an extra 20 plus max reason, relatively speaking, of course. If random things happen during the run and you just get pounded in reason, that's something different, because at that point, I at least can argue that if that happens to any other character, most of the time you're having a bad time anyway. So, yeah, but the other side of Mimi being First Aid is, that's pretty much, I think that's her go-to perk. She does have anatomy class as well, but aside from human encounters like this, which you're not really worried about anyway, I think there's only like a handful of human enemies that you would even care about, that you wouldn't run away from, by the way. That's the important asterisk, because Rider does a whole lot of damage and risk burns if you don't have brace tactics prepared. So again, rebounding back to Mimi, you really want First Aid for the extra reason healing. Again, even with the custom events that I've packed into my current version of World of Horror, I think you do still lose more reason than stamina and Doom. Usually. I think Doom is now a contender due to the custom events I added. But even without custom events, I think Doom is a close first next to reason. And then stamina I feel like you lose less of unless RNG rolls a lot of mysteries like Akamanto into... I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe Scissors to some extent, because Scissors, yeah, the Scissor Lady does all damage, but then the Bloated Teacher does stamina, and then Maru does all, but you get the point. I feel like stamina is a bit more weighted there, but it's the trade-off is that Scissors is relatively short, so you don't have to worry as much about the stamina loss. So shrug, but as we enter Salt Shrine here, I think we should be okay. We're going to level up here. Anatomy class would be helpful. We're going to take strength because I like that. Otherwise, I would have healed either stamina or reason. Less so reason because now we have first aid. But because events can happen, I was going to say, it would have been a good idea to heal reason anyway. Pick the lock. Stats don't matter. I mean, they really didn't matter. Barring Aiko, you wouldn't have 9 dexterity. Or maybe Aiko with the possession, the stat up for curses. I don't know. I'm going crazy. Well, meanwhile here, again, we're losing stamina here, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I couldn't fit in an attack because I am going crazy with my attack sequences. That being said, we can still do this. I think, never mind. Okay, I think we're just going to run. We have the Doom, we have the power. So I lost 2 stamina for no reason, but shrug, I'll deal. We have the Long Pig Steak, we can heal it if we need be. And off we go. That's free Doom decrease. Alright, I'll remember that. I say that all the time and I never remember. So, stats still don't matter, but we have first aid, so hopefully that carries us for the moment. What are we doing here at the moment? Would be nice to hit this. Can't do it strong, unfortunately, but we can guarantee an attack. So I think I'll just take these 2 stamina attacks in the face and just guarantee my out. I could gamble here. I don't think we could dodge, but we could have gambled with, I think, Desperate Attack. But I don't feel like missing today, so... I've messed up my math in the last recent episodes. Don't think that's great for me. At least I can pass a check. Now we can equip the Ritual Dagger, which is probably better than the Scalpel, all things considered. And if for no other reason, then it can proc its Reason Recovery, which means we could get Super Reason Recovery. And now we do just need to focus on stamina, primarily. We could just be completely unlucky when we enter this lighthouse, but with 70% Doom, and well, really 60% when I equip this Crestfallen Mask, we should be perfectly fine. So yeah, Mimi, or any weapon, any character that starts with a weapon, really, I just find that I kind of autopilot a lot more. Not by much, but like, it's a substantial amount. So let's remove the word lot, but keep the fact that, yeah, it's really, really powerful to start with a weapon. Now, again, there are a few weapons in which you don't want to start with. I think Wooden Bat is kind of the threshold for that, so anything worse than the Wooden Bat, if you start with a weapon, it still depends. Like Shovel, a lot of players consider it bad. I do as well, but I can personally make the Shovel work because I like just using big, strong attacks. If I can't brace, I might as well just throw out a Prep Strong is kind of my line of thought. But as this kind of raw, yeah, actually kind of, it is going to be a raw video. Not really much else to say. I should be back on custom content in the next 24 hours. If not, I guess I'll figure it out. But Mimi and May, we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!